Two things to remember is my name, Roy, and the number of the bus, 749. There's a license plate on the rear, on the front, and a little red tag on the side, okay? Roy, 749. Okay, folks, today we're going to be going up the mountain top for the first stop, looking over the northern and eastern side of the island. It's a 30-minute stop. They've got a little bit of shopping up there, banana daiquiris, always early in the morning. A great view of the islands off to the east, British Virgin Islands, St. John, and down below is Magen's Bay. Magen's Bay is the beach you're going to be going to for your 2-hour swim after we finish with Mountain Top, okay? So from Mountain Top, I'm going to take you down to Magen's Bay, and 2 hours on the beach, pick you up from there, and bring you back to Bush. As we go along, I'll show you some points of interest and give you some information about the islands. Folks, I want you all to have a good time today. If you have any questions, when you get a chance, please ask, okay? All right, enjoy your day, folks. We're going to take off now, okay? Roy, 749.
Thank you, sir. Okay, it's 8:25 a.m. and we are rolling. Something on top of the hill right there.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to St. Thomas. This is the United States Virgin Islands. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thanks again for coming back. If this is your first time here, we're going to invite you to come on back and make St. Thomas a regular stop on your cruising vacations. We hope you like our island. Today we're starting off here at Austin Monsanto Marine Terminal at Crown Bay, where your ship, the Icon, is docked up alongside the Morella Discovery.
They said that the driver's line.
Folks, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, we've got 4 main islands. It's St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, and Water Island. Ranking in order of size, St. Croix is the largest, St. Thomas next, then St. John, and Little Water Island is right behind the stern of your ship over there. When we get up into the mountains, you'll be able to look down and see the entire footprint of Water Island. In addition to the 4 main islands, we've got some smaller islands, we call them keys, that make up the 4 grouping, which is the United States Virgin Islands. The U.S. Virgin Islands, along with Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, and the Northern Marianas, comprise the 5 offshore territories of the United States. And although these are not states, they do contain about 3.4 million U.S. citizens living in the territories. They have a similar governmental structure to the states, but there are some differences. At the federal level, we don't have any senators or electoral votes. We do have a non-voting delegate in the House of Representatives who looks out for our needs up in Washington, D.C., the capital. And we also don't have a presidential vote in the territories. Here in the territories, our principal economic activity is tourism, which entails sharing our islands with our visitors, as we're doing with you here today. And folks like to come to St. Thomas. A lot of it is the climate, the scenery, and the idyllic way of life. Some folks come down on the cruise ships like you guys did today, and other folks come on down coming via our airport, the Sail King Airport, and utilize our hotels, Airbnbs, and the large charter yacht fleets that we have here in the islands for accommodations. So there's all different types of tourism. Let's just take a minute to give you the story of how we became the U.S. Virgin Islands. It all started on March the 31st, 1917. Way back during World War I, these islands were owned by the country of Denmark, and they were called the Danish West Indies. Denmark had colonized the island as colonies for over 300 years. But during the war, there were concerns of the islands falling into the hands of the opposing side in the war and threatening U.S. shipping on the Panama Canal. And the United States wanted a base in this area in addition to Puerto Rico. So they purchased the islands for $25 million and renamed them the Virgin Islands of the United States of America. The date, March 31st, is a big holiday here in the islands. And this year, we'll be celebrating 108 years under the American flag. Here on the right side is one of our post offices, the U.S. post offices. We have 5 zip codes here on the island. And next to the post office on the right here is the Charles Blair Seaplane Terminal. And at the dock you can see the seaplane. That we have a regularly scheduled seaplane service to our sister island of St. Croix, which is 40 miles to the south of us. You may be able to see St. Croix on the horizon as we're going up into the hills. It takes about 20 minutes to get from St. Thomas to St. Croix on the seaplane. There are 2 towns on St. Croix, Christiansted and Frederiksted. The seaplanes go into Christiansted. Next to the seaplane terminal, this is the terminal, the Edward Blyden Terminal. There are ferry boats going back and forth between Tortola and St. Thomas. And they're actually traveling from the U.S. Virgin Islands to the British Virgin Islands. And in order to make that journey, you need a passport because those islands are owned by England. Next, I want you to turn your attention across the harbor on the right. And you're going to see some cruise ships up at our other cruise dock, which is the West Indian Company Limited. That's our original cruise port before they built the port down at Crown Bay back in the 1980s. There is a 3rd ship coming in at the dock at West Indian Company, which makes a grand total of 5 ships in St. Thomas today. And when we have that many visitors at one time, the traffic can get very hectic. As you might see when we get up to a mountain top, because we utilize the same venues for most of the tours. St. Thomas in itself is not very large, but those lookouts are some of the best views that we do have. One block over on the left-hand side is Main Street in the city of Charlotte, Amalie. Charlotte, Amalie is the capital city of the United States Virgin Islands, located here on St. Thomas. All of the main government structures are located in the city. The duplicates over on St. Croix and to a lesser extent on St. John. In addition to being the capital, the city is also world famous for the shopping in Charlotte, Amalie. There's quite a variety of items that you can purchase here, and each of our visitors is allowed to take back up to $1,600 in purchases without paying any customs duties. Straight up ahead in front of us is the old Fort Christian. That was the first building built by the Danes when they colonized the islands back in the 1600s. The oldest masonry structure here on the island of St. Thomas. Over to the right is the Coast Guard station and the dock there associated with it. Straight ahead in front of us is the Vendors Plaza, so in addition to the shopping on Main Street, you can also purchase souvenir and craft items at the Vendors Plaza. Look into the heart of the city on the left. You're going to see many old buildings like Hotel 1829 and the Grand Hotel. It's lots of history here in the islands. Right next to the Coast Guard building is our Capitol building. This is the Irby Legislative Chambers, and this is where our unicameral legislature meets and makes the laws that govern our territory. The yard of that Capitol building is where the transfer took place on March 31st, 1917. Up on the hill to the left, the two white buildings with the flags, that's the governor and lieutenant governor's executive offices on Government Hill. Although they do have satellite offices all over the island, through the city. Straight ahead in front of us, this is the Alex Farley Justice Center. And this is where our judicial branch of government is located, the Superior Courts of the Virgin Islands. This building also houses the police station, and the correctional facility, the jail, is up on the 3rd floor. If you look to your right, you're going to see a bell tower and a stone building. That's the Memorial Moravian Church. Moravians have been around here in St. Thomas as long as the Danes have been here, although the Lutheran was actually the official religion. Now the Moravians were very instrumental during the colonial period in looking out for the civil rights of the human rights of the enslaved Africans and the newly freed in the colonies. Here on the left, this is the Franklin Roosevelt Veterans Memorial Park with monuments to the 5 branches of military service of the United States of America. For Veterans Day and Memorial Day, we have activities in the park honoring our veterans. If I have any veterans aboard the bus today, I would like to say thank you for your service and give you a personal welcome to St. Thomas. Folks, as I mentioned before, the city is very old. You can see out by the old crumbling brick buildings. This used to actually be the hospital back in the Danish times, and it was a school under American times. It's now being refurbished as a museum, and I hope they can get it done before the building completely crumbles. And then now we're heading at Bunker Hill, as we're going to be heading up to Mountain Top. As we head out of town, you're going to see a lot more trees, the ornamentals like the flamboyant, and some fruit trees like tamarind, mangoes, with some noni plant, some coconuts. And you're not seeing lots of flowering plants now, but you'll see a few. Small yellow flowers on the left. That's prevalent all over the island, but that's actually our official territorial flower. It's called the yellow cedar. Next down on your left side into the valley, that is one of the historic districts of Charlotte Amalie. It's called Garden Street and Commander Carter. In that area you can find some of the old churches like the old Anglican Church, the old Jewish Synagogue, which is said to be the second oldest in the Western Hemisphere, and the old Dutch Reformed Church. If you look down on your left into the valley, you should see a stone building with a yellow brick trim, and that's the Anglican Church. In the distance off on the left there, you can see a ship, the Icon and the dock down at Crombie. In which I hope you all had a good sail coming into the harbor here at St. Thomas this morning. And down below you can see the island of Water Island and Hassel Island in the harbor, the city down below. Also make this turn, it's called a hairpin turn because it's a switchback. Those of you on the right side now have the same view looking down into the port, the city. And way out on the horizon, it is clear enough you'll be able to see St. Croix 40 miles out. To the west of St. Thomas is our sister territory, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and their capital, San Juan. The island of Puerto Rico is not usually visible from St. Thomas, but two islands off the eastern coast of Puerto Rico, those two islands of Culebra and Vieques, are sometimes visible if it's clear enough. Culebra and Vieques are sometimes called the Spanish Virgin Islands because of their association with Puerto Rico. We are the U.S. Virgin Islands, and to the east of us is the British Virgin Islands. Now we've made another switch back. You can see another perspective of the city and the harbor, and the islands of Castle Island in the harbor and Water Island just behind your ship. On the left side is one of our public elementary schools. This is a Joseph Sibley Elementary School. The youngsters are probably in class right now, otherwise they'd be out here waving at you and saying hi to the visitors. Next to the school is a small Roman Catholic chapel called Our Lady of Perpetual Help. There's quite a few different churches and religions here in the islands, all peacefully coexisting together. Well, folks, over on the left, we're looking back at the Caribbean Sea. That's the body of water we're seeing there where your ship came in. That's on the southern side of St. Thomas. And through the trees on the right side is the Atlantic Ocean. To the north, and St. Thomas sits smack dab in the middle between the Atlantic to the north and the Caribbean to the south. If you look down on your right, you're going to see Peterborough Peninsula. That's an enclave of some of the wealthier folks on the island. And that is the first views of Magen's Bay where you're going for your swim today. You're going to get a nice view of Magen's Bay from up at the look out at Mountain Town. Some of our residents like to go high up in the hills because of the cooler temperatures and the great vistas. And you know, it gets a lot cooler as we get up higher in the mountains. Mountain top, second highest peak is about 1,500 feet in elevation. The downside of building high up in the hills is that we're in the hurricane zone, and when the hurricanes come through, sometimes the sustained winds of a Cat 5 hurricane can exceed 200 miles per hour. Some of the new construction that we see is replacing some of the buildings that were damaged over the last 30 years or so with hurricanes. Here on the left is the ruins of a house that was blown away by Hurricane Marilyn back in 1995. For some reason that house was never rebuilt. Maybe it was insurance problems or something. But it gives you an idea of the force of the winds that can turn a house from $1 million home into a ruin just overnight. Many of the houses are built really strong and the roofs are secured to maintain the integrity of the structure. And these homes can exceed millions of dollars for the real estate in this area. It's one of the more expensive areas. Look at these two new homes here on the left, just built. And look at the roofing detail to secure the roofs against those ferocious winds that come through at this level. That's right now we're entering the mountaintop estates, and that sign is advertising their signature drink, which is the world famous banana daiquiri made with genuine Persian rum from the island of St. Croix. For the youngsters, you have to get them a virgin daiquiri without the rum. For the adults who choose to treat themselves to a world famous banana daiquiri, your designated driver getting you safely back to your ship today. Folks, I want you to look down on the right side here. This is what I call a bird's eye view. You're looking down toward Crown Bay, and there's your ship, the icon at the dock. Nice view of Water Island behind it. And it's a view from 1,500 feet up. We have to pass back this way on the way back down. I'm going to stop on the side so you can snap a picture of it if you didn't get on this slide or as we pass by. Folks, I want you to keep in mind that your ship is on the southern side of the island. The lookout view up at mountaintop is on the northern side, so your ship will not be visible from the mountaintop lookout. The only view of the ship from up at this area is right there where I just showed you. But this lovely philodendrons have taken over the big trees, and it feels like we're driving through the rainforest. And the height of the mountains will cause a bit more rainfall. So we have somewhat rainforesty climate up in this area. As you're coming down into the mountaintop facility, it's going to be a 30-minute stop. When I let you off, you're going to go straight into the building through the big doors under the sign that says World Famous Banana Daiquiri. There's a shopping area, and all the way to the back is where the bar is located. On the left side of the bar through the glass doors is the view of the islands, and on the right side of the bar, that's where the restrooms are located.
You. And that's St. Thomas.
Vincent.
Wait, bananas grow from trees?
Don't drop anything, boy. Gotta be careful.
No banana tree? What banana?
What's the name of the island? Tortola. Right here.
Oh.
Magen's Bay. So we're looking at Magen's Bay right now.
Oh, I saw hands walking. Tobacco. I found it.
Is it Magen Bay right here? It's the center of the video. Further out, we see an island.
What is USVI and BZI?
U.S. Virgin Island.
What about BVI?
British Virgin Island.
Okay. If you want to get that picture of your ship down at the dock, water island right behind.
I see icon. That's icon that I see right there.
Some other things you can see in this view is our airport, the Cyril Lee King Airport to the west, Lindbergh Bay, named after the famed aviator Charles Lindbergh, who came here back in the 1920s. Some of the offshore keys, Sail Rock in the distance. Okay, folks, we're gonna head on down to Magen's Bay now.
The road is very bad. The bus is vibrating like crazy.
Those are the hurricane resistant poles that the utilities installing to improve the resiliency against the severe winds of the hurricanes. The old wooden poles sometimes snap off at those intense winds, but those fiberglass poles are very, very expensive. I think somebody told me they cost $5,000 a piece, where the wooden poles only cost like about $800 a piece. One of the benefits of being under the U.S. flag is that after the hurricanes we get FEMA aid, and it helps us to build a resiliency capacity against hurricanes. Some of the other islands that are not associated with the United States don't have those benefits. That's all the way down on the point past the ships at West Indian Company. That white building is the Frenchman's Reef Hotel. Frenchman's Reef Hotel is our finest 5-star hotel on the island. If you're looking for 5-star accommodations on a return trip to St. Thomas, look it up online under the Westin brand. It's the Westin Beach Resort and Spa and the Morning Stop Way House. The hotel was severely damaged by our last hurricanes in 2017, twin Cat 5 hurricanes in 2 weeks. But it's been rebuilt and we finally reopened. Took them almost 7 years to finish rebuilding the hotel. But we just gotta keep going.
Make the 360-degree turn. Actually 180-degree. 180-degree turn. This vantage point, as you look down toward the cruise ships, you can see the sky ride. There you can see the poles going up the hill with the cable cars just in front of the ship, the furthest in ship. And somebody was asking me about that particular, if that venue was still there. So the beautiful view from up at that area too. It's not as high as Mountain Top, but it's about 900 feet up.
This area is called Drake Seat. It's named after the English privateer Sir Francis Drake. It's another lower lookout area. Similar view from up on the mountain top, but from the top has a wider angle of view. Straight across the street are the outbuildings of the Louise and Hoy Castle. It is more commonly known as Fairchild's Castle. It was built by Arthur S. Fairchild. Arthur Fairchild used to own a lot of the land on the northern side of St. Thomas, including Magen's Bay. And in the 1940s, he donated Magen's Bay along with 53 acres of land to the people of the Virgin Islands for the enjoyment of the residents and visitors. The stipulation was that no hotel or resort be built on the beach and remain open and accessible for everyone to enjoy. Today, Magen's Bay is managed by the Magen's Bay Authority, which is a semi-autonomous agency of the Virgin Islands government. Most of the trees you see along the roadside as we're heading down toward Magen's Bay are local fruit tree called Ginep. It's G-N-I-P. And they usually bear their fruit in the summer months, so when you see any Gineps right now. Some other fruit trees are the tamarind. You can see a big old tamarind tree here. We call it tamarind tree. We also have mangoes. The mangoes seem to have been bearing early this year. They don't usually come out till closer to the summer, but I've seen a lot of mangoes out already. If anybody's familiar with the tamarind, you know that it's very sour when you pick it off of the trees. But we have some folks who know how to stew it up with cinnamon and sugar and stuff and make a delectable treat that we call stew tamarind, or tamarind stew. It's nice and sweet, tangy. And our delicacy is available usually around the carnival season, which is going to be coming up in the month of April. And we have our food fair and various venues. St. Thomas Carnival is usually the last week of April. Over in St. John, they've got a 2-day carnival in July 3rd and 4th. And over in St. Croix, they have a Crucian Christmas Festival during December 26th through January 6th. So we've got 3 carnival festivities that are managed by the tourism department under the division of festivals. And if carnival is your thing and you want to check it out, look it up online on the St. Thomas Carnival or VI Carnival. The island straight out in front of us, that's Hans Lollik, one of the uninhabited keys on the northern side. It's a pretty big island, but no one lives over there, but somebody owns it because it's sold for, I think it's 40 million, what was it? I forget how much millions of dollars, 40 million or something like that a few years ago.
Folks, right now we're coming down into the park area around Magen's Bay. This is some of the 53 acres that Mr. Fairchild gave us along with the beach. Most of the land around Magen's Bay is kept in a natural state as a habitat for birds and small animals. We got turtles, iguanas, mongoose, crabs, no dangerous snakes. It's mostly a wetland area. Folks, I want to welcome you to Magen's Bay.
Okay, we're at the beach
Yeah,
in
on the right side,
Magen.
this is Fairchild's Beach Bar and Grill. It's a bar and restaurant and a little boutique where you can browse around. Right next to the bar over there, you can rent your amenities here on the beach, like beach chairs, umbrellas, snorkeling equipment. And a little further down there, renting our kayaks and stand-up paddleboards.
Forgot to bring our goggles. Okay, that's okay.
Down on the right, the green building there is the showers, restrooms, and changing area. Folks, you stay on the beach, it's going to be about 2 hours.
I have the hat, the guy goes to Vivian. I have the hat too.
You have your goggle on, boy, girl? This is Magen's Bay.
You stayed?
This is where we saw the bay that we saw on top of the hill. And video earlier. We are about to hit the water. Everyone except me. For now. It will be my turn later, very soon. Leave your slipper up here, okay? Don't bring.
That is my favorite, okay?
Yeah, no, up here, up further down.
I forgot to put the shoe.
What are you doing, little girl? Let's try some swimming. Listen, let's swim. Do some swimming.
Kuba, dociera do naszej bazy trochę! Dociera! Prawie dotarło!
When I say that,
Okay, I'm in water. What?
Turn it off.
That's okay.
Mom, can you turn up the spotlight?
I will. She gets my blood. After that is done, I will.
Mom, those spotlights. I guess you can use the one piano in 2 seconds. Okay, and I'll be able to.
Oh, what?
Oh, every day, and by the end of the week, you have to be good at piano.
Why do you want to? I already did. Are you serious? I did 3.
Mom, what is happening? Mom,
Why am I missing?
what is happening? Dad, turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. Dad, turn off the video.
Okay. Whatever you say is recorded, boy. What's that? Okay, wait for here. Wait for me. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm walking away.
The back right here, so you can sit here and watch us right here.
beach time at Magen's Bay, and now we're heading back to the ship. Right now is 12:10 p.m. local time, just past noon time, which is about 11:10 a.m. in Boston. The ship will leave port at about 1 or 1:30 p.m. today. We have to hurry back. On the way back. So St. Kitts was the furthest destination. We went there yesterday, so we went back so we went back, and St. Thomas is on the way back, and then Coco Cay is way near Miami. So that's why we have to leave very early today. No idea. They know what they're doing, God. South 35.
Folks, we're back from the Atlantic side over on the north, the Caribbean side on the south. We had a few drops of liquid sunshine coming down, but I think it's going to blow out. The sun is going to come back out.
I think that's where we were this morning.
Still pretty hazy. I can't really see St. Croix out on the horizon. Down through the trees on the left, you can see the baseball park. It's the Lionel Roberts Stadium. Baseball is a big part of the culture here. Youngsters from a young age get involved with the sport, little leagues and so forth. Their aspirations, trying to be a major league player someday. Charles Amalie. Down on the right, on the other hill right over there, you can see the Black Bear Castle. It's named after the notorious pirate Edward Teach, and legend has it that he lived in the castle, married 7 wives, and killed his wives and buried them in the castle. Oh, a bunch of pirate stories, you know. Pirate stories never end well. We don't know if it's true or not, but Black Bear Castle used to be a very popular venue for pirate paraphernalia and stuff, but it's been closed since those 2 hurricanes of 2017. I don't know when they're going to reopen the facility. You see the statue in the courtyard of the old pirate.
Look at those houses on the mountain. This morning we went in that way. color. What? Look at the color. Beautiful.
terminal at Crimea where your ship is docked. Just want to take a minute to thank you all for choosing St. Thomas as one of the stops of your cruise vacation today. I enjoyed sharing the island with you for a little bit, and I hope you had a great time as well. I invite y'all to come on back and see us again. And folks, we would be happy to have you.